Hey, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. We're gonna dive right into comments and questions. I know a lot of you guys wanted me back in the backyard. For the life of me, I've not been able to get the studio to not have an echo. All that work just to sound like I'm in a tin can. But without further ado, let's just take a break. I'm gonna give it a rest from trying to make that studio work and go back to my roots in the playground and answer your questions. So, first off, we have Thea Gobartolo. Elliott, when rental shops offer different equipment tiers, what does it mean exactly? What represents value for the amateur skier? Is basic equipment good enough, or there are tangible benefits for upgrading? Thanks a lot for your effort, and please keep up these great videos. Oh, that's a really hard question because a lot of it really depends on the shop. Most shops I have found, if you just get like a basic ski, which you would think, oh, I just need a basic ski, it's a ski. No, usually what they're doing is they're giving you one of those beginner skis. I'll have a picture here of it. It's essentially like, it doesn't have a lot of shape. It doesn't tend to have like Titanal or anything in it. It's really meant to be a very approachable, easy to initiate ski. Because when you're a beginner, you're not really timing out or flexing your boot a ton. It's just trying to get you to like kind of be able to change the ski's direction. It's a very simple ski, and so they charge less for it. It could depend on where you're going. It could depend on the mountain. Like some of the ski hills I've been to, they charge the same for whatever ski. But in my experience at ski shops, typically those basic skis are never giving you a top tier ski. And whether or not you're gonna benefit from it just depends on your skills and ability. And which ski is the alternative, right? Like if one of those beginner skis, yeah, it's like great for just getting your feet on the hill. It's great for learning skills, especially in ski lessons. But as you advance more, you will kind of hit the threshold of where those skis are useful. And then you wanna start going into something like, I don't know, it depends on what you like, but like an Elan Ripstick, a Fischer Ranger 90, just skis that are really easy to get the turn initiated for you. Salomon Ripstick Q series is pretty good at that. So it's hard to paint with a broad brush. Also, I wouldn't want that ski on a powder day, but if you're a beginner, maybe you're not really that interested in deep powder skiing. It just depends. But no, those skis tend to almost all kind of be the same too. I don't think that the brands make a ton of difference with those super beginner skis. So yeah, if you are gonna want a ski that you're gonna have long term that you're gonna grow into and you wanna test it out, try one of those top tier, more expensive ski demos. There's no real way around that. But if you are a beginner and you're just trying to learn the fundamentals, yeah, demoing one of those beginner skis should be perfectly adequate. It's confusing, even the shops don't explain it that well, so I appreciate the question. All right, 10S Max E5J says, I'm beginning to miss the swing set in your videos. Oh my gosh, you just can't win, right? You put all this work into making this nice studio, you get it kind of out of the way. If you guys had any idea how much editing I do around dogs barking, people who decide to just like floor it on their truck with no muffler, it would astound you. The studio really is a big quality of life improvement for me. Obviously today I couldn't make the audio work, but you know, here you go. Here's another taste of it. The swing set's never going anywhere, really. It is a really easy and convenient place to shoot, but on some days, either it's really hot or really cold or just really noisy outside, it can be a brutal place. So I am excited to shoot more inside of the studio, but hey, I'll give the people what they want once in a while, huh? All right, on my Who Makes the Best Ski Gloves and Mittens video, Ransley Nicholas says, have a few pairs of Hestra and still reach for my Kinkos, hand waxed after heating the oven more than half the time. Kinkos for the win. Yeah, I like those Kinco Mittens. I use them for my kids. You know why? Because my kids can just like, they're playing in the snow. They're like putting their hands in the snow almost as much as their skis. And there's nothing more brutal than like, I'll put them in an LL Bean warm mitten when it's cold out. And then by the time I get my stuff on the car, their mittens are already soaked and destroyed and just completely filled with water from the snow. So I think the Kinco mittens are awesome. The ones my kids have don't have a ton of insulation, so they're good for warmer days, or they are very durable, and not like my kids haven't destroyed a pair of those. But they're definitely limited on the insulation. They're definitely not the most comfortable mittens out there. But they don't have like specific fingers, so especially for my youngest son who has severe autism, being able to just slip that over and have all of his fingers together, and he doesn't like those like finger separation inside of mittens that have it. So I think it's a great item. I use it a lot for my kids, but you know, every product has a place, and I don't think every single day Kinkos are the best option, but they are great and they are great value. All right, Keith 2076 says, not sure how feasible it would be, but comparing the differences between, oh, see the wind's blowing. Now I have to stop. This is why the studio's good. All right, Keith 2076 goes on to say, not sure how feasible it would be, but comparing the difference between the old Core line and the new one would be awesome. I bought a pair of 2024 Core 105s, those are nice skis, to replace my 2021 pair to lock in this great ski, but I'm so interested in the new 106 Ti. I'm super interested in it too. I have reached out to Head, and the last time we talked, a few months ago, they were still planning on sending me skis from the Head Core line for that they just changed for the 2026 line, or 2025? The years with skiing get really weird. For the 2025 line, I think. But yeah, they're planning on sending them to me. I'm not sure which widths I'll get exactly, but the 105s were on my kind of like wish list to them. So it is looking promising. I haven't skied on the Head Cores in a couple of years, so as far as comparison, I'll try my best, you know, to remember and reference my old video. But I am very excited for the new Head Core line. I feel like Head does it right with how they kind of time changing their line when they do these big upgrades and overhauls, but keep some of that DNA. Just historically, I've been pretty happy with how Head handles the renovation of their skis. That's not to say that guaranteed this new iteration is gonna be perfect, but I am excited because I feel like they're pretty logical with their decision making when it comes to ski design. But yeah, fingers crossed on Head Core reviews this year. All right, on my YouTube Changed My Life video, Dave Gleason 8007 says, great video. I came for your ski content when I was in the market to buy some skis. I'm staying because you share your personal story and you're honest and down to earth. Thanks, I try to be. You know, talking into a camera is definitely a skill, and you learn how to do it without having kind of a weird version of yourself on display. But I try to be really honest. I really struggle with short-term memory. Like I've been assessed, and they're like, yeah, your short-term memory is not great, but you have all these other skills to kind of get around that. And the way that I've lived my life in general is just being super honest makes it so you don't have to keep track of anything. It's a very simple way to live. So yeah, I'm very honest and very off the cusp. It gets me in trouble sometimes. Sometimes I say something and I'm like, oh, I didn't quite mean it that way, or oh, like, you know, maybe I should have been more thoughtful in how I said that. But you know, what you see is what you get. I'm very off the cusp, very honest, just because I can't imagine how stressful it would be to live any other way. So I try to be. Nobody's perfect, but I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. All right, Joseph S. Schaefer 580 says, peak skis are gone. Ambassador Bodie Miller doesn't seem to have the required luck for small ski factories to succeed. Third time for disappointment. Yeah, that might be simplifying it a little bit, but yeah, more or less the peak skis are gone. I've covered that in a couple of videos. I have been listening to follow-up interviews, and I do find it really funny because there's been a couple of outlets that have been like, well, we'll have to be more skeptical of Bodie in the future, and oh, I can't believe more people didn't cover this. And I don't know if I agree with that sentiment or not. I definitely covered it when they first came out. I had a whole video saying why I was reluctant about peak skis because of the failure of Bomber, because of the failure of a couple of the brands along the way, his website, all these things where Bodie has kind of gone into things and then pulled out really quick or not followed through on some of his promises. In this case though, Peak made the skis. They made nice skis. I tested them. I mean, they were perfect, right? What was the first score I gave the first pair of them? Like a 7 point something or a 6 point something? I'd have to go back and look. But I was very skeptical and I didn't like the mounting point. And then I fixed the mounting point and I found a lot that I did like about them. And you know, you can't take away from them. The Peak 88 was a nice ski. But yes, it seems like they really didn't handle themselves well as far as a business standpoint. The more that I hear or read about Peak Skis, it seems like there are ongoing issues, specifically with the athletes they had on, Michelle Parker, Chris Davenport. I mean, that stuff really, if true, is really unfortunate. And I hope that people who were meant to get paid, but it seems like we're past that point now. It also seems like the people who invested in Peak Skis are very unlikely that they'll get paid back. But I do find it funny when all of these outlets are going, oh, if only someone had said something. I very early on pointed out criticism of all of these main points that people are retroactively noticing. Hey, you know, Bodie Miller has kind of fallen through on promises before. Hey, this direct-to-consumer model is kind of interesting, and it seems like they're really pumping into advertising more than the product. Hey, these are kind of expensive skis, and it's a lot of money for people to spend sight unseen, especially if you can't test it. I didn't like have a perfect crystal ball and totally see how things were going to play out, and I never looked at their like bookkeeping and sheets as far as what they had going on the back end. But I pointed out a pretty healthy amount of these issues from the get-go. And for me, as a person who reviews skis, I gotta say, at least Peak sent a pair of skis for me to review, and I tested them, and I found things that I liked and found things that I disliked. And the nice thing about being honest and not taking any money is I can sleep at night. I was never gonna get paid, and they didn't miss a payment because there was no money. So it was easy for me, and it was easy to be honest. I have no regrets about how I covered the skis because I was 100% honest. Even if Bodie Miller didn't always like it in the comments or say, oh, you mounted it wrong. Okay, well, does the average consumer really mess with mounting points? You know, it's like, oh, or they just take you at your word and they mount them at true to where they are. And I even point out, hey, these probably need to be back a click or two for the default mounting point. But needless to say, yes, I am always, if nothing else, overly honest about my opinions. And because of that, I can sleep as sound as a baby when it comes to my Peak ski reviews. Because I was totally honest. I remember talking to my wife about it because I was like, oh man, like, I don't think Bodie likes these videos I'm making. And she's like, well, what's the point of the channel if you're not going to be honest about stuff? And she, as always, was 100% right. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do feel bad for people that lost their jobs, people who didn't get paid that should have gotten paid. I hope that those people are made whole in one way or another. I am also bummed that a good ski is no longer being made. It wasn't like Bomber where it was like way overpriced and didn't perform that well. I thought they were pretty nice skis, but I was nothing but open and honest about my criticism. And I always get so much heat. You know, I'm really critical about things and people go, oh, Elliott, you're just overreacting, and oh, what the heck, man. But at the end of the day, my God, it's my honest opinion. Anyway, I'm not like trying to throw shade at anyone. I just do think it's funny how like once this stone has been overturned, you get a glimpse of how people handle business behind the scenes a little bit, and I just have to laugh the whole way through because I just got a pair of skis, tested them, and was maybe overly honest, but that's what I'm here for. All right, Schmetterling8915 says, would you please do head E-Rally review? Would appreciate your opinion on it. I did the head I-Rally a long time ago. Yeah, I'm always open to it. It's always a thing of like, can I get my hands on it? And I know with head, they just changed the core series, so that's where a lot of their focus is. But honestly, if I get a chance to ski on the E-Rally, I like the I-Rally a lot. I thought it was a really fun ski. And I like carving skis. It's just kind of like, I like all mountain skis a lot, especially for West Coast skiing. It's kind of perfect for how soft our snow is. But I'm not like, in my opinion, that's not the only ski I want to ski on. I like reviewing, testing, and putting carving focused skis on my feet. But my God, is it hard to find them? Honestly, if your local demo shop doesn't carry them at the mountain, it's really hard to get on a pair at a demo shop. And like, yeah, it's just, it's also, if I'm buying them out of pocket, then there's not a ton of people who watch that video because it is a little bit of a niche sometimes. And then on top of that, not that that matters, but if I spend my own money on a ski, I like want to kind of recoup some of that, so I'm not just throwing money at the wall. And anyway, yeah, if I can get my hands on a pair of Heady rallies, I absolutely will. That's the best I can promise at this point, but I'll try. Man, that took me a long time to say, just I'll try. So anyway, that's the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. We have channel memberships. I'll have a full list in the description. We just did our 4th of July deals video. There's a bunch of really good deals out there for skis. I will copy and paste those in the description so you can find some of those deals. If you didn't already see that video, feel free to check it out. But as always, more than anything, just thanks for being here. Thanks for taking time out every day to watch my content. It means a ton to me. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.